It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back. In studio, Aaron Culbertson. Aaron, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, you've been doing radio for a while when you could just like strut into the studio 20 seconds before you're about to come out of a break. So. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about me.
What is going on in Washington, D.C.?
I mean, that's a loaded question. So I've been tracking something, by the way, and I did kind of want to, I wouldn't say it's fully formed, but there's obviously lots of conversation in our state and around the country about what states can do about illegal immigration. And I've had conversations with people like Borders Czar Tom Homan on this.
Let me just pause. You personally were in the room with Tom Homan and talked to him.
Yep.
Recently.
Right. As close to him, that probably actually, I think the table was a little more narrow, but as close to him as I am to you right now. So yes. And I was able to help lead a private discussion on the obvious topic of illegal immigration. But so I asked him the question just flat out, and I'll probably actually write something, maybe a commentary on this at some point in time. And I asked him, okay, there's a lot of people that say a lot of things. What, in your role as Borders Czar, can the state of Tennessee do to assist you in accomplishing your goal? And Tom Homan, if you've ever seen him on TV or listened to him, he's a no-nonsense guy. He pulls no punches. He does not care. He's the perfect guy for this position. All the arrows at the left will... So anyway, so he said, number one, he said, there's two things the states could really do about all of this. He's like, everything else is window dressing. One, ban sanctuary cities. Well, Tennessee's done that. Two, get all of track your immigration status of all the people in your jails and send it over to ICE. So what I've been tracking is I know that Senator Farrell Hale did a bill last year and passed it where the sheriffs have to work with the District Attorney General's Conference and this is all in black and white in the bill, and they have to catalog the illegal immigration status of people in the jails, because those are obviously the number one, and that's who he's concerned about, i.e. Tom Homan. So that's being done. Now, I've had some conversations to, okay, so it's going to the DAG's conference, right? Where's it go from there? My understanding is that information is going to be, and I'm going to continue to track this and be like 1,000% sure of this fact, but thus far my understanding is they're currently working on compiling all that, because this is not something that sheriffs and local law enforcement has actually done, and they're developing like an online system to track all of this, and then they're going to publish it for everyone to see, so we can have a really good view. And this is all due to the bill that Farrell Hale did last year, or last session, because it's still the same year, and I think that was Jake McCalman who was the House guy on it. So I think that's pretty dang important that those were the two things that the incoming Borders are for Donald Trump, that we appear, the state of Tennessee, to have done the two most important things, or about to do the two most important things that, in his view, aids him in doing his job and securing the gaping U.S. southern border. So there we go.
Interesting. Did you see Tucker's interview with Tom Homan?
I actually seen clips of this.
Okay, let's get start with the clip 16, talking about his former boss, Alejandro Mayorkas.
Do you know Mayorkas?
I know him.
How would you assess him?
I used to respect him. Under President Obama, I got a Presidential Rank Award under President Obama, because I oversaw the removal of, well over a million aliens during that 3-year period. Mayorkas actually accompanied me on operations in New York City, targeting criminal aliens and illegal aliens, both. Jay Johnson approved the family operation, because a lot of families were coming across during the Obama administration. And I told Jay Johnson, look, 9 out of 10 of these families are going to be ordered removed. Are we going to remove them? He said, absolutely. Jay Johnson stood by that. Alejandro Mayorkas went on operation with us. He backed me up on it a lot. The main thing we disagreed on is the transgender policy, where you wanted special treatment for transgenders in ICE detention. I was ordered to sign that policy, and that's
What kind of special treatment?
making sure they're identified as being a transgender, they're protected in our facilities, and separated and get medical attention, whether it's hormone therapy or whatever it was. And
Wait, so he wanted the U.S. government to pay for hormone therapy?
yeah. And we got in a huge argument over that, and I was ordered to sign the memo, and that's where we had a falling out. But
Do you have any? Why would he want? I mean, first of all, how many transsexual illegal aliens are there?
you'd be surprised how many we run across. And they just, they want a certain protections for them in our facilities. Well, Alejandro Mayorkas went on operation with me. He shook hands with officers who were enforcing the immigration law. I remember we went to New York City on a huge operation, arrested a lot of illegal aliens. And when he was nominated to be secretary, I thought, okay, we're in the middle of this crisis again, right? He knows how we stopped it. We stopped it by building detention facilities, including family residential centers, the so-called cages, right? He knew how we stopped it. We stopped by building more detention facilities, detaining people, making them have a hearing, because if you're in detention, you have a hearing within like 35 days. 9 out of 10 lost. We put them in an airplane, send them home, then board numbers tanked. So I'm thinking, okay, he knows how to fix it. He might be able to do this job. He got into the job. He did a complete 180. I don't recognize him anymore. He's about not enforcing the law. One of his first instructions to ICE is that being in the country illegally on its own is not enough for you to go make an arrest.
Yeah.
You gotta wait
So we've got, first, let's just say Tom Homan. What a guy. I mean, he's the kind of guy who you play football with. And when you needed to get somebody tackled, you sent Tom Homan in.
Yeah. Well, so you would appreciate this, since we did have some sort of personal discussions, and I didn't realize. He basically has a farm on the U.S. Canadian border in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Which I told him it's amazing that anybody could actually live up there, considering how cold it is. I said, but also that part of New York State actually votes right, so there's that. But that is a cop's cop. That is a man's man. That is honestly probably going to prove to be the best decision Trump made on a staff level. There's a lot of good staff level decisions he's made, but that one might be the one that shines above all the others.
Well, what's interesting about this, and I knew I had a connection to Tom because he's from near Watertown, a little town there, which is in Jefferson County. I grew up in Clinton County, which is just a couple counties over in that northern part on the Canadian border. Our family, since 1840, between 1840 and 1950, our family owned a farm in Hemingford, Quebec, just a mile and a half from the American border. We still own about 3 acres up there. And what's interesting about that is we had grown up as a kid. We go up to the farm, and I say, "Hey, Dad, I could walk into the United States from here." He said, "Yeah, you can." Now, well, why don't people do that? He said, "Well, it's easier just to drive." That's when people were not illegal aliens,
right?
But there's a guy who's
we called those people Canadians. They went to Hollywood, like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, and all this.
But I think with Tom Homan, what you see is what you get, right?
Yeah. Well, and I obviously wanted to make the point that I made about asking that specific question because obviously truth matters very much to me, and if Tennessee is truly, there's a narrative out there saying that Tennessee is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I've always found that to be bunk, and I wanted to get the answer straight from the most important voice on the subject's mouth. So
we'll have more with Aaron Garbinson when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. This is the bonus hour of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, the Tennessee bonus hour. Back after this.
folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back in studio, Aaron Gobinson. Aaron, I want to get to the sort of the budget fiasco going on right now in Washington, D.C. We've got, 24, 30 hours until the government shuts down? What is it, midnight Friday when it shuts down?
That sounds about right.
But before we get to that.
Shut it down, by the way. Go on.
I'm kind of with you on that. Okay. You knew this, but one of the most powerful supercomputer complexes in America is right now in the Memphis, Tennessee area. Mm-hmm. It's Elon Musk's, what do you call it, XI? It's AI.
Yeah, it's his AI facility.
Yeah. And apparently State Senator Brett Taylor has been involved in that. State Senator Jack Johnson. They took a tour down there, and it's just beyond fabulous.
I think they met with the guy in charge of the facility for Musk, right?
Yeah. And he said, Elon Musk basically is the guy who gets things done.
Yeah. And
he likes Tennessee, apparently. He's a little concerned about the crime down there, but Brent Taylor's working on it.
Him and John Gillespie in the House have been just doing everything they possibly can to fix the crime in the Memphis area. So
I think we're going to see more Elon Musk activity and businesses in Tennessee because he's going to get out of California. There's no reason to stick around in California except for its fixed investment.
Yeah,
California's going down the tubes, right? So he moved his operations to the Austin area, and SpaceX is in Starbase, which is a new city proposed in the McAllen, Texas, Brownsville area, where all of the SpaceX rockets go off.
And it'll be interesting that gets larger, because that's not terribly far from the border, by the way. But I think there's plenty of spaces in the great state of Tennessee for Elon Musk to move other businesses here too. So
you ready for a curveball?
All right.
This is in the context of Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, put together the most ridiculous continuing resolution to get the budget funded from December 20th to March 31st. Instead of like a 1-page or 10-page, let's keep doing what we did for between October 1st and December 20th, 1,500 pages, which includes ridiculous stuff like, let's fund a new stadium for the Washington NFL Commanders in Washington, D.C. Like, let's raise the salaries of members of Congress from $170,000 a year to $240,000 a year. That's $70,000 difference. It's just filled with that kind of
because that's a
junk.
popular proposal, right? It's all give them a 40% raise. And
So, this 1,500 pages, they release it Tuesday afternoon, and then Wednesday about 1 o'clock, Elon Musk on X says, "This is terrible. You should vote against this, and if you don't vote against this, we're going to primary you." I'm paraphrasing. And then about half an hour later, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance came out and said, "This is not what we want. We want a simple, clean, continuing resolution." And it's all falling apart. And by the way, Mike Johnson considered to be a nice guy, but this is ridiculous. He caved to every Christmas tree desire of the Democrats.
It's funny whenever I talk to Tennessee legislators, the term when a bill is larger than it should be, they always use the term Christmas tree. It's a very commonly used term.
But now it is Christmas.
We generally don't have Christmas tree bills in our state legislature, but we have them, every day of the week when it comes to the U.S. House of Representatives, unfortunately. And I have no ill feelings towards Mike Johnson. I think it's the worst job in D.C. being Speaker of the U.S. House. Just ask Kevin McCarthy. I think there are always times where your members kind of hold you hostage and create certain Christmas tree elements to bills that may be things that you have to include in there. None of the things that we've publicly heard about this 1,500-page bill, and I'd also be very, very shocked if somebody has actually read every last word of that legislation that is now dead, I believe. I do want to point out something, by the way, because we're attributing all of this to simply the power of X with Elon Musk. There's one thing people do forget a little bit. Elon Musk also is wielding not only his close relationship with President Trump and him and Vivek Ramaswamy's partnership with Doge, he also has a very large super PAC and billions and billions of dollars to spend. So when Elon Musk says, "I'm going to primary people who screw the American public," he has the money to do so.
I mean, you could argue that his PAC is a major reason why Donald Trump won.
Yeah, and I don't think that really gets as much coverage as it should to go through the logistics of what that PAC did. I mean, they did, unlike, I'll just say it. Unlike people who pretend that they actually did things like Scott Pressler, Elon Musk PAC actually registered new voters and turned people out. And as an aside, Cliff Maloney won Pennsylvania. Well, I'm throwing shots out here. It's a very legitimate operation that Elon Musk has, and it's not a paper tiger. And he does. I think that's one of the reasons the president is listening to him on a lot of things, and they have a close relationship because Donald Trump values people who contribute to the cause and the team. And Elon Musk certainly contributed to a big chunk of the victory in November.
Yes, he did. Okay, so does Mike Johnson survive as Speaker?
I think the president's probably fine with him as Speaker. I think only Donald Trump will determine that. I don't think you're going to have... a rudderless house and have one of, because what is it, 5 people now that would have to do a no contest vote.
Right.
Obviously there's a new vote that happens regardless with the new Congress coming in a couple weeks, but they're all going to look to President Trump. So if President Trump gives the thumbs down and says you're out, yeah, he's out.
The old
if he doesn't, then
so here's the thing about this. The deadline is like midnight tomorrow.
Yep.
What's going to happen? Are they going to put a clean continuing resolution together or not?
I think they've been scrambling on doing it. We'll see what the
clean means. Instead of 1,500 pages, 1 page or 10 pages.
Yeah. Someone who has experience in this matter, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, who was an amazing speaker.
Yeah, what did he say?
He tweeted, President Trump and Republicans should not be afraid of a government shutdown. The next election is 2 years away, and this is my commentary, what he's saying in the next election 2 years away is Republicans always cave because they're afraid of costing themselves votes in the midterms. That's why they do this with these 1,500-page bills. Anyway, going on. We had 2 shutdowns in 1995 and became the first re-elected House GOP majority since 1928. It may take shock therapy for Schumer and Democrats to learn President Trump is serious about draining the swamp.
So when the government supposedly shuts down, it doesn't really shut down, does it?
No, we're not. It's not like the military bases have a closed for business side. It's not like the Social Security checks stop going out or the entitled. And it's actually interesting when there is the government shutdown, the left stream media does like to gaslight the American public and be like, well, their Social Security checks are going out.
The left stream media, the regime media, is not that influential these days.
No, they're clear.
They think they are, but they're not. But here's the thing about this. My suggestion, Speaker Johnson, I know you listen to this program. What you should do is put together a clean CR, pass it with only Republican votes in the House, send it over to the Senate. They'll probably not pass it. Okay. And then the government will, quote, shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It's Schumer's fault then.
It's Schumer's fault. That's what you should do. And look, and then the Congress reconvenes January 3rd.
Yeah. So
right? And then you have the Senate. The Republicans control the Senate.
And while you still will have Joe Biden in the White House for 17 days, I think at that point you'd probably see Joe Biden or whoever signs his, holds his pen for him, probably sign whatever the 2 houses of Congress come up with, because he's not going to want to end his presidency when a quote unquote government shutdown. So I say shut it down. I think it's time that we have the means. I do think we will see whether or not Speaker Johnson can be an effective speaker. I think, and I'm going to say this in a fun way, I think he can be a very effective speaker as long as he has a daddy. And that daddy is Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
So
if he were to be removed as speaker, who would be a candidate to replace him?
I nominate Michael Patrick Leahy for speaker.
I'm available. I got another one who's probably might have a little more heft than yours truly. You ready? Elon Musk.
I've seen that.
You've seen that?
Yes.
But you know how he runs his companies, right? He's got 6 companies. By the way, there's 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
So he goes to each company once a week.
Right.
He's got an extra day, by the way. And what he does is he focuses on the main problem. And he just focuses like crazy. And then he goes. And
right.
He does that iterative. Which day of the week should he run the House of Representatives?
I need a little more God in the House of Representatives. So I'd say Sunday. There we go.
There you go.
But I will say, from the brilliant mind of Marjorie Taylor Greene is where I saw that on Twitter.
I know. It'd be kind of funny. All right. When we come back, hey, you're going to love this. Robbie Starbuck has yet another win in beating DEI. And the win is against, the people who caved is Nissan right here in Tennessee. Back with Robbie Starbuck after this. to say a few words about our friends at the Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road. The Nashville Pizza Company in Franklin reminds us that the current economic times have been tough on many families in our area, and many are finding it hard to make ends meet. Your donations of clothing or canned goods can make a difference for a family in need. During this holiday season, give from the heart so others can have a new start. That's courtesy of our friends at Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road in Franklin. They are always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it. Believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed
This
by
summer,
Donald
never
Trump.
leave pets in vehicles while running errands. Even with windows cracked, and the 80 degrees can shoot up to 120 degrees, causing heat stroke, dehydration, and even death. So keep pets hydrated, shaded in cool areas, or just leave them at home. That's from Kathy, Candy, and the staff at Mutts Cuts Grooming, the people with warm hearts for those with cold noses. For your pet's grooming needs, call 931-645-9220. That's 931-645-9220 for Mutts Cuts Grooming in Clarksville, Tennessee at 1479 Tiny Town Road.
Hey there, this is Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of The Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back. We are joined on our Newsmaker line right now by Robbie Starbuck. Welcome, Robbie.
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, Robbie.
Aaron Culbertson is here in studio with us, Robbie.
Hey, Aaron.
Keep killing it out there, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Another win.
Yep, another win, and an unexpected win, too, for all of us with the CR bill getting killed yesterday. I think all the users on X did a very good job making their voices heard to the members of Congress.
By the way, you know who made that happen, of course, was the owner of X.
Yep.
Elon Musk. He sent out a tweet, this is a bad bill. We'll primary you if you vote for it. Whoosh, it all collapsed.
Yep, he was posting. I was digging into the CR and posted a bunch of stuff, and he just kept reposting my things about the CR and a bunch of other people who were doing great work, just like going through it, because none of us could read the whole thing that quickly. Nobody could. Everybody's looking at sections of it, and together, the collective power of X going through it, I think really it stopped the bill, and he was sort of the megaphone for everybody.
Now, so Robbie, you're pals with Elon Musk, right?
He's a good guy. We have definitely found kindred spirits in one another. We're very motivated just to stop this woke beast in not just D.C. but across the U.S.
Now, have you ever met Elon in person, or have you just mostly exchanged communications on X?
This has been a point that I think every media outlet has tried to figure out, and I think that the best thing about being friendly with somebody like this is that a lot of the best stuff about any friendship is stuff that isn't out there, So
absolutely.
I think the effective portion of what people have seen publicly, I think is very important. And we've been able to achieve a lot of really cool stuff.
Robbie,
on X, and he was the biggest reason that The War on Children was such a success. Our documentary this year, 60 million people watched it, and that would not have happened without his support of the film.
That's an excellent answer, by the way, Robbie. Well done. Okay, so let's talk about Nissan. What happened there?
So Nissan is the latest in. We're at almost 20 companies that we've changed woke policies at and gotten them ripped out. Nissan was an important one to me because, they're not quite as crazy as a number of the companies we've gone after. I think their market cap is about $10 billion, and we're coming off Walmart, which is like the biggest employer in America and is like the biggest company, right? So people were a little surprised we jumped down to a company that was at $10 billion market cap. But I did it specifically because they're such a big employer in Tennessee. And I had so many complaints from people who said, look, I love my job in many ways, but there's these things that I have big issues with. Really hope you can do something about it. And so we went to Nissan. We had investigated for a little bit, brought sort of our findings on what our story was going to be to do the fact-checking, and immediately they were receptive to just having conversations about how to fix these things. So it was wonderful to be able to just get to a good solution and be able to bring that to people instead of, going through the whole, here's all the mistakes they've made in the past. I like the positive end of this, which I think companies are often very surprised by. It's like, I would love for every story to be a positive story. It gets me less clicks too, which I think they're always surprised. Like, I don't just want to go on the attack. It's like, no, I just want good things to happen. And so we were able to bring positive change yesterday. They ended their association with the crazy, rabid, far-left HRC's CEI social credit system, which is what forces a lot of the far-left, trans agenda stuff into the workplace. They are going to stop funding these sexually inappropriate pride events where kids are exposed to things that are very inappropriate. And they're going to end the DEI, the forced DEI and LGBTQ plus trainings. There's a lot of happy Nissan workers today here in Tennessee.
These are all big wins. Now, I don't know if this is directly related, but this big win that you put together, you engineered with basically Nissan dropping DEI, came at the same time that the recent stories have come out that Nissan itself is in financial difficulties and apparently now is considering a merger with Honda. Is it the case that their abandonment of DEI policies is part of their plan to financially set Nissan back on the right track, would you say?
Well, I can never get in their heads and know 100%, but I can tell you this. Yesterday, their stock went up 17%. They have not had their stock go up 17% in one day in the last 5 years. Their stock has been going down, 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 down. So yesterday was a very good day for Nissan, not just in terms of corporate culture, but also in terms of the, future looks a little bit brighter, right? Now, if I was a betting man, if I was predicting things, I would predict that they will eventually be a part of a company like Honda. I think that makes a lot of sense. In a business sense, if you look at sort of like where each company's going, Honda has the money to absorb a company like Nissan. And, I think there's a lot of things that make sense there. So if I had to guess, I would guess that direction. I think they would keep the Nissan brand. I think you keep the jobs here and all that. But, I think they would have to do some dramatic things, viability-wise, to be able to boost themselves to the position where they stay as a solo company. It's possible. Anything's possible. But yesterday was a bright day for them, I will say that.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, they're a big player here in Tennessee. We want the company to survive. And
100%.
And I do think that, of course, the automotive market is changing so rapidly with all sorts of, international things going on and all sorts of, different modes of propulsion, EV versus internal combustion. And the idea that a Honda, to me, I'm just looking at it, I think probably a Honda-Nissan combination gives both companies the best opportunity to thrive financially in the future. I'm not an automotive analyst, but that's basically my view on it. What's next for Robbie Starbuck? I mean, I hesitate to ask that question.
Many more companies. We have a long list. Here's the thing. So we have 100% flip rate. We're at almost 20 companies, but there's a whole Fortune 500, right? So, I've said from the very beginning of this project, we understand that this is not an overnight thing, and that if we want to shift the Overton window of sort of what is acceptable, what is considered normal, all the way back to where it should be, then we have to do this one by one. It's got to be methodical, and we cannot, sort of get too overconfident. Like it would have been very easy after Walmart to get overconfident and say, oh, well, we took out the largest employers, DEI and wokeness, so we should just be happy with that. And that's the pinnacle of this, right? Well, no, I mean, you've got millions and millions of employees and trillions of dollars worth of companies out there that are still pushing this. And if we want to completely eliminate it, we have to go one by one and get rid of this until the normal companies are all the ones who have sort of worked with us to stop this. And the companies that are sort of seen as outliers and very strange are the ones who keep this stuff, and that customers basically punish those companies, and they're relegated to only being sort of the ones that depend solely on far left consumer bases, which is a very, 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 very small number of companies that can depend solely on, Democrat consumer bases. And I think companies are becoming wise to the changing paradigm of influence. Like CNN, actually had a conversation with a CNN reporter about this, and I'm going to post the exchange because it was not an off-the-record thing, and it was so ludicrous, I couldn't believe it. They were basically coming to me saying, we're not an advocacy organization. So they came to me asking for comment on a story. I gave my comment, and it included a ratings comparison between CNN and my posts, right? And it showed that on average, I'm reaching millions and millions and millions more people than CNN is on a daily basis. And so,
Robbie, can I just stop for a moment? That is that's so delicious.
I know, isn't it? And so I sent it to them, and they said, well, we're not going to print your comment that we asked you for because we're not an advocacy organization, and we don't want to go comparing CNN's ratings with your viewership. And I thought that was so interesting, and I said, well, you guys are the ones doing a hit piece one day after I wrote a post making fun of you guys. You guys are trying to write a hit piece 24 hours after I made fun of you guys, and that post got 78 million views on X, okay, of me just making fun of the terrible job they do at CNN. And so I said, I don't see those two things as unlinked. And yes, you are an advocacy organization. Go watch Acosta. Go watch Jake Tapper. Go watch Christine Amanpour internationally. You guys are the definition of an advocacy organization. And at least you could own that. And I said, if not, explain your argument for why you're not, but you won't do that because you guys are an advocacy organization. And the whole exchange gets even more ludicrous from there. But then they go to, well, maybe we could get you on TV to talk about this. And I said, you and I both know you guys would never in a million years bring me on to come and debate DEI or wokeness as a topic because I would make you guys look like the room temperature IQs you are. And secondary to that, I don't need CNN's ratings. You guys need our ratings now. The media paradigm has changed. And they fundamentally do not understand that, but that's the new world. And politicians are realizing it now, though, because if you take X, I was just talking about this morning. We have 25 to 30% of Americans are on X, right? And some people would go, oh, well, that's not the majority of Americans. Well, it doesn't need to be. What needs to be there is the most influential people that are political and cultural drivers, and that's what X has. And so what happens from there is what happens and trends there today will be trending on every other social media outlet. It will be in your nightly news. It will be in your newspaper. It will be in every segment of cultural literacy that you possibly have. And so the amount of Americans who are touched by whatever it is that becomes the topic of interest today on X will be the vast majority of the country by the end of the week. And so, that is real cultural influence. CNN doesn't have it anymore. The mainstream media certainly doesn't have it anymore. And I think every company is adjusting to that new paradigm. And that's why at the beginning of this, we had to do these long campaigns where companies lost billions of dollars, trying to wait us out. Now they're realizing the power of it because they've been able to measure the metrics. And now they're able to go, it'd just be wiser to go to the table and make these changes.
I just love this.
I just want to comment on, I'm very proud of my rhetorical ability to insult people, and I want to recognize the room temperature IQ comment by you there, Robbie. So for one pugilist to another, kudos for that one.
That's right. I can't wait to post the exchange because it is really beautiful, and it's, you know, I don't mean to be insulting, but it's true to the people there. I mean, I do mean to be insulting, but only because they deserve it. And you know, I wouldn't typically. I'm a very nice person, but these people have tried to destroy our country, and so like we can never forget that. We can never forget that these people have tried over and over again to destroy our country. And like there is a time for unity. It's not now, and it's not with these people. It's with normal Americans with normal jobs, normal families, you know, who just want to make a living. They just want to have a home and be able to have a good life with their kids. Like, yes, unity all day long. I want no unity with these hacks in the legacy media who have tried to destroy our country and sell it out to global interests.
Robbie, when are you going to post that on X?
Probably sometime today.
Okay. As soon as you post
Sometime
it,
today.
we'll turn it into a story and push it out as well. And geez, this is just so much fun, Robbie. And kudos. And what can I say? Every time you're on, you got some new insights for us. So we just really appreciate it. We really appreciate your coming on the show. And when your newborn is a little further along, need to have you come into the studio for a longer interview.
Definitely. That sounds fun. And I always enjoy it. This is, you know, at the end of the day, we're making politics fun again, all of us. And I think that's a good thing. We're getting more and more young people interested and making them want to, you know, really have a footprint on what our country is going to look like for our kids and our grandkids. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I see this as a second American Revolution in many ways. This one is ideological. It's not bloody, thank God. And it's one where, you know, really there's sort of there's light at the end of the tunnel again.
Robbie
Starbuck.
Starbuck.
People are seeing that America can be amazing again.
Robbie, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
You too.
All right, up next, News Potpourri.
This is Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's HealthyCell.com. Code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back. It's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, this is the portion of the program where we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and have a touch of
irony.
We were talking about, I suggested, kind of, sort of, in jest, that if Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is up for re-election and doesn't get reelected, Elon Musk might be a candidate. I said that in sort of jest. You know who agrees with me? Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky.
I did see that. By the way, the Neil Cavuto it's come out that today is his last day at Fox News.
Is that a health thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
And yeah. I haven't looked at his ratings, but given he's been on there for forever. It's a new day.
I think he has multiple sclerosis. Is that what he has? Yeah. And look, we certainly wish him well on the health side. Having said that, he's the most establishment rhino-y kind of guys on Fox News.
Yeah, his era's over regardless of the health. So
that's
I certainly don't wish him ill, but
yeah, we certainly wish him.
His era is definitely over.
We wish him good health.
Yes, exactly. And best of luck in your retirement, sir. By the way, so I like to do this where I go on the Drudge Report to see what gaslighting they've done. This is very interesting change of headlines in tone today.
At where? Drudge?
Drudge Report.
That used to be a big aggregator.
And so today it's Wall Street Journal bombshell. This is the big in all red. White House hid Biden's serious decline from public and his allies.
What?
then there's a big picture of Elon Musk looking like a rock star. Elon in charge, Speaker of the House.
So hey, that's something. Look, I've got a weird story just broke a little while ago. It's from the New York Times. The headline: FBI searches home of Los Angeles deputy mayor suspected of bomb threat against City Hall. I mean, okay. The official, Brian Williams, who was appointed by the mayor last year to oversee, wait for it, public safety, was immediately placed on administrative leave. What's wrong with these people? Allegedly. Right?
By the way, I just started perusing this Wall Street Journal article. I don't know if you've read it before, but I would say this is worth taking a look because it is titled "How the White House Functioned with the Diminished Biden in Charge." It would have been nice if that had come out 2 years ago.
Yeah. Of course, Time Magazine named Donald Trump Man of the Year. Now the Financial Times has named Trump Person of the Year. So on a roll. I got a very weird, bizarre story. Headline. I'm just going to read the headline. Virginia hunter dies after bear shot in tree falls and crushes him. Yikes. That is that's a tough deal.
That is pretty darn crazy. Oh man, I just got a fun email, but I'm not going to talk about it on the air.
Kathy Hochul.
Oh geez. Who's the worst governor in the country? Is it Hochul? Is it Newsom? Is it Lady Vader from Michigan? I mean, it's
or who's the Healy in Massachusetts?
Oh gosh.
I mean, go to any blue state. Is actually, let's go to this. Is there any blue state governor who's worth a darn? Who's good? I can't think of any. Can you?
No,
they're all
only
bad.
There's some purple state ones where
there's degrees of bad, but you got Pritzker in Illinois, you got Newsom in California. This is Hochul. She's now deploying 250 National Guard troops to protect the subways of New York. This is after Alvin Bragg, the DA there, tried to prosecute.
Yep.
Daniel Penny, the Marine.
I was in New York over the weekend, and I.
Oh, really?
And
you survived.
I did. I sadly report that I haven't ridden the subway in 7 years I used to pride myself on never taking cabs, and it's just it's not unsafe because of people like Daniel Penny. It's unsafe because of all of the mentally ill and the gangs and all this other and the illegal immigrants that are in the subway system. So
German-owned Politico, the propaganda.
Can we still start calling it Deutsche-owned?
Deutsche-owned. Yeah, you could try that. Yeah. Such a weird headline. Elon Musk fueled backlash to spending plan with false and misleading claims.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness. They don't get it yet, do they? They don't get it. The gig is up. People understand what you're doing. It's not good. Somebody who's Zelensky in Ukraine, he is now facing the reality that he said, we can't retake that 18% of the country that Russia has. We're stuck. Look, this is a very dangerous, 32, 33 days until Trump becomes president?
No, it is. I mean...
Are you going to the inauguration?
I will be in town for this, yes.
You're going to D.C.?
I am, yes. I am going to pack my long johns.
Are you, how much are the hotels?
Oh gosh, I'm not even staying anywhere near. I'm going to probably stay in Manassas or something like that. But
Way out.
I've heard that the hotels in DC are $1,000 a night.
Yeah, I've heard 1,000. Yeah.
I've got family members that wanted to go to the inaugural, so they are getting access to
which inaugural balls are you going to go to?
Oh, I don't even know yet. That's all I mean, unless you're actively trying to be a dilettante and pushing to go to all of those things, and no offense to the dilettantes out there, you'll get invited by somebody and then you'll go, but it's not on my active radar. I don't like renting a tux. I will rent a tux, but it's just and I say this without a trace of arrogance, but when you've shaken the president's hand going to an inaugural ball where he's potentially going to be at, or is 1,000 feet away, is it's not really a thrill.
No. And on that note, we thank you so much for coming in, as you do every Thursday.
Yes, sir. It's always fun.
And up next, Rob Carson. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and then we'll have Roger Simon at 10 and Crom Carmichael at 11. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Thanks for joining us. This is Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a word about my good friend Dustin Damon. Dustin is the best handyman in Middle Tennessee. Call Dustin today at 724-683-4400. That's 724-683-4400 if you have a job around the house that you just haven't gotten around to. If you're busy like me, you just may not have the time to fix that broken mailbox, repair the back porch, or get that old light fixture back to working properly. Do what I did. Call Dustin Damon today at 724-683-4400, and he will bring his truck and tools to your house and get that job done lickety-split. Dustin's main service area is Williamson County and the southern part of Davidson County. So call Dustin Damon, the best handyman in Middle Tennessee today, at 724-683-4400. Tell him you heard about him on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. The Chief Team reminds listeners here that more and more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs too. That's why the Chief Team is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year we hire smart and hire veterans. That's from the Chief Team, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 931-444-3572. That's 931-444-3572 for the Chief Team in Clarksville.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music.
PBS presents a new series hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., Gospel.
Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
Gospel is a prayer. It is our heart's cry to God in lyrics and song.
You feel it deep down in your soul.
Gospel. Streaming now on the PBS app.